Tēnā koutou katoa, kia ora and welcome to another Manawanui live stream. My name is Simon and today we have the pleasure of being joined by Matt from Recreate NZ. They do a large range of wonderful things for our disability community. They do social programs, camps, work experience, preparation programs, a whole wide array of services that many of our Manawanui customers utilise already, but we are very excited to have Matt here to talk a little about where Recreate came from and what they are focusing on now, in the hopes that we can connect a few of you who aren't familiar with Recreate, who may actually benefit from their services. And yeah, we're really excited to have him here. So I will allow him to introduce himself and give us a little bit of background, Matt, around where Recreate came from and what it is that you do there. So good afternoon, Matt.
Kia ora, Simon. Matt speaking. Yeah, so thanks for having me this afternoon, evening. It's great to be here and share a bit of my story and Recreate's story. So just to introduce myself a little bit, so I'm based in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. This is where Recreate has its head office, but we also have many other centres around the country which we can touch on. Yeah, so born and bred in West Auckland, but now living a bit more centrally. I've been with Recreate for quite a long time, so we're talking over 10 years, and I've been through quite a few different roles in the organisation. So I started out volunteering at Recreate when I was a student. A friend of mine kind of roped me in and said, hey, you should be part of our programs and support our young people in our community. So that's what I did, and then I gradually got a job in the office as a program coordinator, and then became national programs manager. Now I'm in the national operations manager role, so I'm kind of involved with senior leadership and working with our regions around the country, which keeps me going. There's plenty of challenges, but I love the job. So to talk about Recreate's origins, so if we go back to 2002, Recreate was born out of, originated from CCS, Disability Action, when they provided a recreational service in Auckland. And they ran a variety of classes for young people. And then for whatever reason, they stopped. But a group of really passionate mothers, mainly, of young people with disabilities came together and wanted to keep things going. So that's how Recreate NZ started. So that was only in Auckland, and it was a small group of people working at Recreate, a couple of part-time staff. Over the years, things grew and more people came on board. And then if we go to 2012, that's when we started to launch programs in Christchurch. We ran a couple of youth camps. We kind of organised it in Auckland, but then flew down to Christchurch, met with a whole bunch of awesome young people, ran programs down there, and then all of a sudden we employed some local people down there to keep things going and have a base down there. If we go to 2017, that's when we expand into the Waikato and Bay of Plenty. And then if we go to 2022, that's when we're in Wellington. And now we're very excited to be launching into Dunedin and Hawke's Bay. So we are meeting with a whole bunch of people in those regions at the moment, and we're launching programs there as we speak. How's that, Simon, for a bit of a snapshot?
Simon speaking, that's wonderful. Thank you very much, Matt. So let's talk about the current offering of Recreate services. Like I said, I alluded to some after school social groups for our young people, some holiday camps, but let's go through all the different, exactly what is it that Recreate offers and what can people experience when they are a part of the Recreate whānau?
Nice. Matt speaking again. Yeah, so I guess I'll start with the community of young people that we support. So we are a youth-focused organisation. So the youth cohort is our largest, so that'll be 15 to 25-year-olds, but we actually start at ages of 10. So our juniors, they're 10 to 15, and then youth, 15 to 25. So that could be people that are in high school, or maybe they've gone through the schooling system and they want to keep going with those educational opportunities. And then we have our young adults, so that's 25 to 35. And we've just evolved into having an adults category, so that's 30 to 45 years. And that's in Auckland and Christchurch, because we have quite a large community in those regions. The other regions, we go up to 35. And the young people that come to Recreate might have, it's mainly young people with intellectual disabilities or support needs. And some young people have physical disabilities as well, but it's mainly the intellectual disabilities. And we have all programs are group-based, so we don't really provide one-on-one support. So it's all group-based, all very fun and social, and we normally have 4 young people to 1 leader, if that makes sense. So that kind of ratio of support. Yeah, so if we cross over to the types of programs that we offer, we have 4 streams, I guess, 4 themes of programs. So Simon touched on the adventures, the youth camps, for example. So in our bigger regions, every school holidays, we have youth camps. So they go for 4 days long. And so they normally go from a Tuesday to a Friday in the school holidays. And so we would go to awesome camp facilities, and we would enlist qualified outdoor instructors to lead us through some awesome outdoor pursuits. So that could be high ropes courses, low ropes, that could be abseiling, rock climbing, whitewater rafting we've done, caving, so all the fun stuff. And we've also got these adventure programs called Seeking Summits, and that's similar outdoor pursuits, but we might be pushing it a little bit further for those ones that are keen to. So, for example, this is going back a few years, we took a group of young people near the top of Mount Ruapehu in wintertime. So we're talking crampons and ice axes, and our awesome friends from Adventure Specialties helped us through that adventure. So that's one example of what we've done. And then crossing over to the recreational programs, so that covers our holiday programs. So again, in the school holidays, those can be quite popular, and that's when we're doing really fun things in and around the city. So just touching on that note, we do love to get out and about. So there are some programs or part of the programs that we might be based at Recreate, but apart from that, we love to be out in the community, providing that social inclusion as well. And then we also provide some more overnight programs. We call them getaways. So those might be for 8 or 9 young people at a time, and we're going a couple of hours drive out of the city, going to awesome locations, could be by the beach or in the mountains, and we're doing fun recreational activities in the places that we go to. Similar to that, we do things called short breaks. They might be for a smaller group of people. It might be more relaxed. Might be walks on the beach, some crafts at the place we stay at, something a bit more slower paced. So it's nice to offer both, something that's a bit more go-getter type and a bit more relaxed. And then we also offer these programs called Urbans. Urbans could be on a Friday night, could be on a Saturday night, could be on a Saturday day, and that could be going to the movies, going bowling, going out for dinner. Could be having a disco downstairs in our youth space. So that's a really fun opportunity. That they get a bit noisy and fun, and it could be up to 25 young people. So it can be a bit of a party which is awesome. And then crossing over to the educational programs. So again, this could be more suited to our school leavers. That could be 1 day per week for a whole term with the same group of young people. And it could be a life skills course, which is where guiding people through how to cook food in the kitchen or take public transport or use money or use tech. So some of those basic, really worthwhile life skills for people to gain independence and build their confidence. That could be a really cool way of young people are looking at flatting, for example. So how do we build up those life skills to become really independent for that? Furthering from life skills, we also do this thing called Moxie work experience. So that's where we're learning how to use work soft skills, or how to work as a team, how to communicate with others, those types of skills that might transfer into a work environment. And then the final step, which we've been offering for a little while now, is Moxie Employment. And that's where we aim to team up with potential employers, businesses, organizations, on a one-on-one basis. If we can match up the young person with the right employer, and if that results in a employment outcome with a job, then that's awesome. We love offering that as well. So I guess the point is, it really depends on what people want out of our programs. So they might look at all we have on offer on our website, which we release our programs every term, and it gets very busy around then. And then people can just choose what they want, what appeals to them. And then we go away as a team and we figure out how to place people on programs and make sure it's fair for everybody, so everybody gets a go. So we might see a person once every 4 or 5 months, or we might see someone every week. It just depends on what people want, if they want to see us on our programs a lot or not so much. How's that, Simon? How am I going?
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Simon speaking. I'd have a couple comments to go to. One from Beck. She says, I highly recommend Recreate. My daughter Livy has made great friendships, grown in confidence, and absolutely loves the programs. The staff are amazing, supportive, and genuinely care. It's been a fantastic experience for our family. Any message there to Beck watching?
Amazing, Matt speaking. Thank you so much, Beck. We really love the feedback, and we're glad that we can provide some awesome programs.
Simon speaking, wonderful. And a question from Karen. She wants to know if there are any plans to head to the Northland region.
Ooh, so Matt speaking. Yeah, thanks for the question. Over the years, we have had a few requests to go north. And ultimately, as a not-for-profit, it's a real funding game. So that's what I guess we'll talk about soon. We are launching into Dunedin and Hawke's Bay. That has become available through a certain pot of funding, which allows for that expansion. So we would love to keep going. So thank you for the feedback, for wanting us to come north. Yes, and then again, if the right funding application comes around, then who knows?
Simon's being wonderful, Matt. So across those different programs we were just talking about earlier, do you have a few examples of some of the participants that you've seen and what sort of positive impact they've had from being a part of the Recreate programs?
Matt speaking. Yes, for sure. So I've jotted down a few notes. I'd love to give some real life examples. So one that has happened quite recently in the last couple of months, a young woman who comes on our midweek program, Life Skills on the Move. On the Move is very recreational. We're keeping people fit and active and healthy and doing really fun stuff during the week. So we had a group go to TriStar Gymnastics in Mount Roskill in Auckland. Went there for the first time and she absolutely loved it. And then that enabled her to talk to the staff and find a class and go there on her own accord, which is awesome. So I guess my point is, if Recreate can be the conduit for that and give young people a go of new things, and then if that can lead into them trying it for themselves and loving it, then that's awesome. So I just wanted to share that. I guess it's also worth mentioning, for a few families that are part of Recreate, we might be their only respite option. Maybe they don't have other family members where they live or other people to go to. So we've heard that a few times through feedback, that basically Recreate is it, especially for overnight respite or other things during the day. So we love to play that part as well. Another recent success has been this. So this came out of COVID lockdowns. We all of a sudden couldn't run our programs anymore in person, but so then we decided to switch to online through Zoom, just like this. And so we formed this awesome group of young leaders who met every month, and that basically became our youth board. So having the youth voice is very important to us to inform us on how we're going with our programs and organizationally. And it's a chance for us to really instill leadership and all those awesome opportunities. So that youth board, they continue to meet monthly, and they're on this awesome leadership journey. We also get the youth board to meet together once a year. And we had the most recent one a couple of months ago. I think it was May. So it's awesome for them to. This is young people all across the country. They all come together in the one place for the 4 days, and we just love all that confidence building and goal setting and instilling leadership in that group. So seeing that personal growth for quite a few young people now is awesome to track. And then one more. Here's another example. So a young person who was on the youth board has now gone through the Moxie work experience and employment courses, and now has a job at the Pullman Hotel, which is amazing. And she's loving it. Just went through the 3-month review. Yeah, so that's awesome to see. Oh, one more. Here we go. 2 young guys met at Recreate and built up a friendship, and now they're going flatting together. So that's another real cool, tangible example of people meeting at Recreate, building those friendships, and then who knows where it goes after that. So, yeah.
Simon speaking, yeah, wonderful. I guess the thread I was listening to across what you were saying is that Recreate gives you the service that they say they're planning. You get the actual experience of the camp or the social group outing, but what it also does is exposes people to be able to take opportunities for all these additional benefits. Like you said, the person who found the confidence through Recreate to engage in that class themselves, or the people that found friendships to then go flatting, or the program to go and then actually take on a job. So I think it's really cool, and it would be impossible to really quantify across every instance of it, but there's probably a huge amount of impact ripples out there that are outside of just what people get at Recreate. So I mean, all I'm trying to do is really say that there's more value than what you're actually getting through Recreate. And I think now's a good chance to talk about one of the reasons why you're here, and that's your new regions. Talk to us about Dunedin and Hastings and what exactly is on offer in those regions.
Matt speaking. Yeah, thanks, Simon. So now that we are launching into Dunedin and Hawke's Bay, we have programs live on our website now that people can request. So if we go back to maybe a year ago for the Hawke's Bay, we were lucky enough to run some launch programs. And so that's when we met with a whole bunch of new awesome young people. And so now we have employed someone down and based out of Hastings, and we're partnering with the YMCA in Hastings. So we work out of there, and we're running programs. And now we need to build up our volunteer database and really go for it down there. So so last weekend we just ran a getaway to Kairako Beach, which is further down the line. I guess it's towards Central Hawke's Bay and then back out to the coast. So that was awesome. And then we've got another getaway to Mahia, the Mahia Peninsula, and we'll probably carry on up to Gisborne and do some fun things up there as well. And now crossing over to Dunedin. So we have a staff member who was with us in Christchurch. The awesome thing is she knows that Dunedin's happening and she's like, I want to be a part of that. And she's making Dunedin happen. And we do need to meet with as many young people as possible to be part of these programs. So if anybody knows of anyone who lives down in those regions, please get in touch with us. We would love to start that journey. And I just want to touch on the way it all works, I guess, for these programs and how people pay for these programs. So traditionally, a long time ago, it was mainly this thing called carer support, which I'm sure lots of people know about. And it used to be the days of respite plus a cash deposit. So, I mean, it's still the paper-based form and we're still processing all that. But the good news is that total program price that people see on our website, that covers the whole program. And that's through carer support and individualized funding. So that's awesome. And that basically covers everything, like the planning of the program and the facilitation and the accommodation and the transport and the food and all that stuff. So yeah, so we would just love to spread the word and say we're open to Dunedin and Hawke's Bay. Now, it is worth mentioning with these regions or any region in New Zealand, I guess it's not exclusive to you have to live in that city centre. So I guess an example is in Hawke's Bay, we're running a getaway to Mahia. If there's people around Napier Hastings and they're willing to meet with us or be picked up along the way, like that, opportunities like that can happen. We definitely understand the rural isolation or regional isolation. So if it works with our programs to where we're going, then I'm sure we can make some of these opportunities happen.
Simon speaking, I just wanted to jump in there, and there was a good point that you made around you don't have to be from that region, because I was thinking, well, what if a family in Auckland were really keen on taking a holiday down to Dunedin, or they've got family down there and they thought, well, let's take advantage of a Recreate program for my child while I'm down there, while I go and visit my sister for a couple of days. Is that easy to arrange if they can contact you and say, look, I'm based here, but I'm really interested in what you've got down in this region, and you guys are really keen for that to happen?
Matt speaking. Yeah, so over the years we have had opportunities like that happen for people. So before we launched into Dunedin, we had a young person living there, but then traveling up to Christchurch for Christchurch-based programs because we didn't have a Dunedin centre. So, it's all very relational. Once we get to know the young person and they get to know us, then those opportunities can happen. Yeah.
Simon speaking, wonderful. Yeah, I'm just thinking of people like Karen who are based in the north in Whangarei, but would possibly be able to use their individualized funding if they've got a remainder in their budget to cover some of that travel into the Auckland region and then participate, because thankfully from 1 April this year, the flexibility to individualized funding is is very wide around what we can articulate as a reasonable disability cost. And like she said in her follow-up comment, there is basically no respite services in Northland, then it's quite reasonable that travel down to Auckland to access respite, if the funding is there, can cover it. So I guess that's something that people can make the decision on to kind of cover that additional cost if they're not part of one of the regions you operate in originally. But yeah, I guess we've got a few minutes left. So I just want to know from you, if people are listening to this and they're really keen to get in touch, how do you prefer people register their interest for your services?
Matt speaking. Yeah, so we, when was this? About 6 or 9 months ago, can't remember the time, we have refreshed our website, which is awesome. It's really user-friendly and functional. So if people basically go to our website, www.recreate.org.nz, at the top right of the screen, there is a register button, and that gives all the information about registering and what's involved. It is quite a thorough registration form, but that's awesome for us, so we have as much information as we need. And then once that registration form is complete, that comes through to us or the applicable region, and then we can have a look over it. And then if it looks all good, we can set up a in-person meeting. So families can get to know us, we can get to know you and your young person. And then once that's happened, then we normally do half day or full day programs as a bit of a lead in, bit of a taster, and then we can look at overnight trips after that. So yeah, that's kind of the process. I mean, our staff are very available and would love to chat to new families and just break down all that's involved, what we do, what we offer. Yeah.
Simon speaking. Wonderful, Matt. Thank you. I just have some questions to cover, slightly off topic, but I just want to make sure people are aware of it. So if you have VHN funding through MSD, we have not heard a confirmed new funding balance for this current funding period. So you should be aware by now that you've got stand-in funding. We've just rolled over your funding amount from last year until we get the confirmed amounts. So unfortunately, we're still waiting to hear from MSD, and we will update you as soon as we've made those changes. The same thing applies to those with individualised funding respite who are waiting for their funding uplift that you heard Alistair from DSS mention, or you might have seen it other places. We are still waiting for MSD or DSS to update the funding balances for IF respite in their system, and then we will reflect those changes. If you're wondering why, it just means that if we were to make the changes beforehand, it would mean our balances are different to what the ministry has for you and would cause rejections when it comes time to manage our invoicing process. So unfortunately, we are just holding tight until we get that for you, and we will email everybody as soon as we know more. Right, back to you, Matt. I would like to say thank you very much for your time this afternoon. It's been a wonderful conversation. I've loved learning about Recreate services. I've had some relationship with you guys for quite some time, and I'm a huge supporter of your services. So I'm more than happy to have you back on whenever you think there's something to talk about. But for those who have been watching and may just be considering whether Recreate is right for them or someone in their family or someone they know, what final words of encouragement do you have for the people at home?
Matt speaking. Yeah, kia ora, Simon. Thank you so much for having me on. So just a final word of encouragement. I just really encourage people to check us out and get in touch and look at all the amazing content and videos that we have. I guess seeing is believing. So if you can see, especially through our Facebook and Instagram, what programs look like, and what we get up to. That's an awesome way. It's very visual and provides little descriptions on our programs. Please check us out and give us a go. We would love to meet with you.
Simon speaking. Wonderful. Thank you so much again, Matt. To everyone watching at home, I will see you again next week, Tuesday. So we are not waiting another fortnight to go live again. please tune in next Tuesday. I promise you there is a huge announcement that you do not want to miss. That's all I'll say for now, but thank you again, Matt. I really appreciate your time, and everyone watching at home, have a lovely evening, and I will see you all same time next week. Ka kite. And we're clear. Well done, Matt. You were amazing.
Thank you. That was fun.
It was indeed. Yeah. So the video will be live on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. So if you or your team want to reshare or do whatever you want with the video, it'll be there. It gets deleted from our Facebook page automatically by Facebook after like 3 weeks or so. But that's why I use YouTube as well, so that it stays there permanently. But yeah, you know, feel free. I think I tagged you guys in the post, but if I haven't, then I'll fix it afterwards.
Nice. I'll check it out. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Did I use any acronyms?
Thank you.
No, you. Perfect. Wonderful. All right. Thank you very much,
I wasn't
team.
too fast for you, Rachel.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you. I'll see you next time.
Yes. Thanks, Rachel.
Wonderful. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Also, thanks, Simon.
Bye.